All right. We've got ourselves day one of the GSL Group A, very first match to start off the global StarCraft League. It is MARU in the bottom left side, playing up against SCARLETT in the top right. SCARLETT and Australia, the two foreign, aka non-Korean representatives that have made it into the global StarCraft League this season. It is the Premier League in Korea, the heart of StarCraft, and SCARLETT has started out with the unluckiest draw of them all. Playing against MARU is a tough one, but there's a new balance patch. It's a new chaotic time, and who knows what's going to be happening. MARU is going to be starting off with that low ground 2 Rax Reaper. Now, I do feel the 15-15 opening is one of the most optimal against this. If you're not going for that, though, which she's not, she's going for a 16 hatchery. Hopefully she does go straight for Ling Speed to kind of shut this one down. It'll be interesting. Against 2 Rax Reaper, you can opt for a third base, but you've got to be very careful to make sure that doesn't get sniped, especially if they go to like 4 or 5 Reapers, which we've seen kind of increasing in popularity. It used to always be 3 Reapers and that's it. And that's recently changed. Now, this natural wall-off is always exposed. There's no ramp here. Your barracks are out in the open. Your add-ons are out in the open. This has always been a build that is a little vulnerable to both Baneling busts as well as certain Roach Ravager attacks where those add-ons are exposed and you have to build a bunker out front if you see those Roaches coming out. Anyways, I love the map. It's Alcyone, and Alcyone. Are many of the pronunciations that we've already heard people tell me are absolutely correct and the only way to say it. I've looked it up as well, and apparently there is no consensus. I think it comes from ancient Greek or something. Anyway, you guys could let us know in the comments the exact background of what the word is referring to. Apparently it's used a lot in astronomical stuff. A lot of space stuff is named after old Greek stuff, so that would make sense. Anyways, Zerglings are going to try and fight off the Reaper. Maru's looking for a bit of tax, and she does drop Ling Speed into third hatchery very early. She's going to her third hatchery on like 27 supply, which normally I'd be a little bit critical of, but maybe she's just trying to get some extra hit points on it so that it can't be sniped down. And oh, she's going to lose a drone. No. Good spore trick. That was a pretty clean save for SCARLETT. And she's already moving her queens out. Wait, she's going double tumor. It's not a tumor. No, she's going to... Oh, okay, tumor in the main, inject on the natural. She's doing the Alaza style. The Alaza style is saying, look, I need to connect my bases with creep anyway, but more importantly, I need the injects on the natural. I want the drones popping here next to the minerals they want to be mining from and prioritize that. 2 queens versus 3 reapers. The queens will have no problems with that. Good little juke attempt for MARU, but not able to get any of those popping drones. He was looking for the 2-shot on one of those drones as it popped out. Wasn't quite able to get it. Second gas into factory and then third command center. So we're going to see a 2-1-1. Now, my big question is, do you play Banelings? This is the new patch, new maps. It's not just, oh, he gets a creep tumor. Doesn't show up in the units lost for some reason. But yeah, I guess because it was still building, so it doesn't count as a unit just yet. But getting rid of a creep tumor is always very nice to slow down that creep spread. As I was saying, Banelings are trash now, guys. Are they really? I don't know. People have been saying -5 hit points will be terrible versus Marines and Marines tanks. I've been looking for replays of people doing it, and every time I ask pros, they say, oh, all my games are just versus Mass Cyclone or Cyclone Mech or something or else. No one's really playing Marine tank, and we've all said, well, really committed 2 and 3 base Marine tank timings are what, like an 8 Rax push is what you should really be struggling against playing a Ling Bane style. That being said, SCARLETT has been one of the vocal people when I've been talking about, oh, people are saying ZVT is going to be really bad for Zerg. A lot of pros are complaining. And she said to me, oh, actually, I've been doing better in ZVT than in quite a while. Like, I don't know. I'm having no problems in the matchup. I feel really confident right now. And yeah, the changes don't seem to have hurt me that much at all. So it's going to be interesting to see if that confidence carries through to her being able to go toe-to-toe. Maru's making 2 Hellions right now. Whoa. Are we thinking about doing a Hellbat timing? The old Hellbat Stim Marine timing? But with a 3rd command center, that would be very, very unique. Interesting. No Baneling nest just yet. She still could go Roaches, but she needs to make up her mind very quickly on if she wants to play Lings or Roaches. Now, Maru's work account is only 35, despite it being almost 5 minutes. Your work account is always a bit delayed because you've gone 2 barracks, but let's just keep an eye on how well he focuses on that over the next minute. You can see he's building 2 rather than 3 SCVs at a time right now, despite having those 3 command centers up. But he does correct that momentarily. Armory's on the way. Oh, God, if she plays Mass Ling, she's effed. Oh, God, there's going to be 2 medevacs, combat shields, and a bunch of Hellbats. Actually, it's only going to be 4 Hellbats. If this was like 6 or 8, it would probably be a kill move, but Still no Baneling Nest, no Lair, no Roach Warren, no Infestation Pit. Scarlett is just massing Zerglings and banking on getting a huge surround. She's seen the Hellions now. Oh my god, her Baneling Nest has only just started. She was not wanting to play against this, but maybe the Queens can get rid of those Hellbats before they ruin her day. She's going to go in for the Combat Shield and the Reactor Snipe. Oh, that is a juicy one. MARU cannot be happy with this. He's going to lose a Reactor and Combat Shield before it finishes, and those Lings are so fast, they'll get back across the map to help out on the hold in time. There is a decent Marine count. He stims forward. She's got a big block of Queens, though. 10 Queens coming forward with Mass Transfuse, and already those Hellbats taking pretty significant damage. A good hold so far there by Scarlett, and she's way up on workers by about 14 workers so far. How did she get so far ahead on the economy? I really don't know. I guess she just handled that 3 Reaper pressure with the expert poise you expect from someone who's played against it so many times before. The last few months, Terrans have been spamming that build a little bit too much, in my opinion. The Zergs are getting good at stopping it. MARU needs to be perfect on his SCV production. He's trying to build more barracks, so he's planning to do a 7 racks build? That is bizarre. 7 racks. So normally you'd go 8 racks, but he's just gone to 7 barracks. And his SCV production has been a little intermittent. You can see he's still sub 50 workers at almost 7 minutes, which is not great macro for MARU. I think that tells us he wanted to get a lot more done with things like that Hellbat timing. The fact that it didn't work out, he's going to be a bit frustrated by. It's cleaning up those creep tumors on the left side. Scarlett's on 76 workers in a moment. Oh my god, that is a crazy Reyna-style economy. That's very, very good growth. She senses that she's got a little bit of momentum here. She's going to use it. 9 more drones? Okay, Scarlett, rein it in. Rein it in, mate. I would love to see you play a nice competitive series with MARU, but 12! She's just queued up even more. Hydrodens on the way as well. I mean, she's got a decent Ling Bane count out, so I guess as long as... And her creep is buying a lot of time, I guess she just kind of senses that all he's doing is clearing creep right now. He's not really feeling confident enough to push into her. And it's a pretty damn good move for her to get so far ahead on the workers. Now, as I said, he's gone 7 racks. He added an 8th one as well. No add-ons. It is that committed 8 racks bio tank that we were talking about. The new Baneling being very weak to, because that Baneling speed no longer gives +5 hit points. Your Banelings are only going to have 30 hit points for this whole game. Problem for MARU is she's so far ahead on economy. She's going to have an immense amount of units coming out. And if she can get her creep out a little bit further to buy some time, then MARU, I mean, he's got to get moving, and he's got to do it soon. He can't wait for 2-2. Spore Crawler does get taken out, and he just picks up and leaves. Free value for MARU. But look at this, guys. No SCVs being produced. It's go time. He's on 1-1. He's not starting 2-2. He has left a siege tank behind. He's got to bring that. Every tank is sacred with this sort of scenario. He does deny her 5th base on the right. But she's actually got... that was her 6th base. Her 5th base is already almost finished on the left. Scarlett is getting out of control in this game. Those 30 hit point speed Banelings are now there. 1-1 upgrades will be finishing for Scarlett in the next 30 seconds. So as long as she waits a little bit, I mean, her carapace is now finished. Hydras are coming in as well. They're going to have the movement speed upgrade in about 15 seconds as well. She's got Queens ready on the right side. There's only a few siege tanks here. 3 siege tanks and a big bios ready. The creep is buying time for Scarlett. Nice transfuses. Hydras as well do take out a couple of those Marines. Oh, she's got to be careful, though. I don't think she wants to sit in range of these Marines and tanks for too long. She just wants to keep the hatchery alive. She's going to have to go soon, but the thing is, her army's going to be blocked by Queens on the right side. This is a really awkward engagement angle. She's going for it. She feels like she has to go now as 1-1 finishes. MARU has a pretty scary army. 1 giant Baneling lands on the Marines, but they all survive on red hit points in the bottom. The siege tank's starting to do well. The live siege forward as well. The Marines spreading against those units, and he maintains the position. Oh, no. I thought Scarlett had such a lead in this game, and don't get me wrong, she's still got army alive. She hasn't been broken. She's got Hydras, more Banelings morphing. But the fact that he now has this position with a tank in range of the hatchery, 2 Liberators, another siege tank, and the Marines in a beautiful spread, this is going to be very hard for Scarlett to hold on. Okay, here we go. Queen's trying to come forward. Link Bane as well. The Marines over on that right side trying to dance forward and damage that hatchery. Here we go. Oh, my lord. Okay. Oh, okay. The Banelings rolling in towards everything. The tanks are there, along with the Marines trying to spread backwards. The Liberator gets sniped down. The Medevac's getting taken out. That was just a good arc of Hydras. She has the Groove Spines now for the +1 range as well. MARU is pushed back, and that is a disaster because remember, she has a 5th base with a rich gas in the top left side of the map. What the hell? She's got a macro hat. She's got 2-2. She's been hitting her injects. Look at her queen energy. Well, I guess most of her queens got pulled to the front. So she's just had 1 queen injecting in the main. She did lose almost all of her queens. She's rebuilding them now. MARU will hit a 2-2 advantage in the near future. He's building a second factory, but he's only on 3 command centers. MARU is super committed right now. Oh, 7 drones do go down. All right, Lings and Hydras coming forward here for Scarlett. She's going to overwhelm. MARU is still looking so desperate. Without building a 4th command center, he's basically saying, I'm going to lift this down, and there we go. He's going to go for it. So it looks like he's going to lift to the gold base. He's going to break these rocks, lift to the gold base, transfer those workers. He does have a little bit of a gas bank, but not a massive one. So MARU needs to take a gas, at least 1, if not 2, right now, because 400 gas seems good, but when you're only mining off 2 geysers, that's going to be problematic once you start your double tank production. That being said, he actually catches a lot of her morphing banelings. Oh, this is an incredible fight here, but she does try to ambush on the right side. Looks like she got a few Marines, but his siege tanks do push her back. Oh, this is a big drop on the left side of the map. It feels like MARU's starting to winch his way back into this game, get some leverage up on Scarlett, and finding that damage in a game that otherwise looked rather terrible for a while. Siege tanks are sieging on that right side. The Marines over there picking up and dropping. The Marines doing a lovely spready here on the low ground. Scarlett's in trouble. She's down in army supply, and it's 2-2 versus 1-1. If he can force a fight in the next 20 seconds, it's going to be massive for MARU. He's got the better upgraded army. Marines are redropping on the left. That drop is going to get sniped down, though. Scarlett shuts down the left side. On the right, she's trying to hold on. Looks like she forced the Marines to pick up, and she gets a tank snipe. Perfect pullback timing before she goes into any more of those siege tanks. 4 infestors are building right now for Scarlett. I think she's realizing if she can get a few fungals out, they will ruin these Marines when they run forward like this. The Marines run forward on the Hydras. The Lings come in, and that's going to allow Scarlett to break the tank line, which is absolutely massive. She gets rid of the tanks. Banelings are coming in from behind, and a good pullback for Scarlett. If she went any further, she'd be in big troubles. 88 drones for Scarlett, 64 workers for MARU. MARU has the gold-based mining, and therefore he's keeping his mineral mining actually pretty close to hers. MARU is doing an amazing job of keeping this game competitive, despite being on the back foot for so very long. And you know, she did mine those minerals open. I was about to say, if she didn't do that, maybe he could doom drop behind the minerals, put some tanks down there, and it's like an unengageable position. But she's opened those minerals up and allowed her way to that bottom side of the map. Oh, God, a fungal. Shoot a kill. Oh, if she landed a fungal there, she could have got a full medevac, maybe 2. Oh, on the left side, MARU's in trouble. You can't be losing it. Full dropship goes down. 3-3 does start for MARU. He's building tech labs on 3 barracks, and he's now building widow mines, telling us, he said, okay, we got to shift gears. There's going to be a lot of Ling Bane. I need widow mines to deal with it. Funnily enough, I think she's been heavy enough on the Hydras, and now with the infestors, that siege tanks are probably still quite effective. And there's some good ridges and kind of cliffs and areas to put them on this map, but siege tank gets caught out. Oh no! MARU gets caught by the Omega Fungal, and she chains it as well, so she can kill all of those medevacs. She traps one last one, and that is a devastating engagement. The Fungal of Doom comes down. Oh my God, and I'll tell you what, MARU probably has similar feelings to that Fungal of Doom like most connoisseurs of film do about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Oh man, and MARU was just left shouting, oh no, Mr. Indy. That was painful. Very nice game 1 for Scarlett. Obviously, it's a moment of inattention. The big problem is I don't think he's seen the infestors, and I always say the first fungal is the scariest fungal. It's when you don't know they have it, and this queen is kind of what told her that he was here, and I don't even know if he realized he'd been spotted by the queen. I mean, he should have, because he moved the tank forward, but you figure, whatever, I'll be able to pick up in time. You cannot pick up once you're fungled, guys, and it lasts for 4 seconds, so just before it runs out, she lands it again, she lands it again, she lands it again. The fungal does do 5 less damage and have 1 less cast range than what it used to, but the infestors start now with the 75 energy. And I've already been saying for the longest time, Infestor is one of the most underrated units in this matchup, and it's awesome just to see that the patch has really pushed a lot of players to start mixing them in. Whereas Hydraling Bane, adding Infestors used to be unheard of in this style in a lot of pro matches, even though it was really fantastic. Scarlett takes map 1. Alright, that was kind of a crazy way to start the series. Scarlett, though, to be fair, she got herself ahead. She committed to a massive amount of Zerglings off 50 workers. Had a massive queen count, and it was just the right amount of units to defend what MARU was doing, and she got rid of his combat shields and his reactor. Got herself a massive lead off that. There's this thing when your opponent kind of overcommits to a pressure, they can't find any damage, and then you just build like 30 drones, and it was a big lead. This kind of reminded me of the old 2-1-1. Yeah, it was back in the day in early Legacy, and I remember people were struggling with the 2-1-1, and I was like, oh, you know, yeah, what's the answer? And Scarlett was like, oh, it's like a free win. She's like, Pig, you literally have a video on this. You make, you know, 9 queens, and then you make a bunch of zerglings, and you just defend it, and then you're up 30 drones. And this was kind of a similar scenario where even though MARU had a 3rd command center, it was a 2 barracks opening, right? You know, into some medevacs. He added Hellions, which made it even more committed. And she really had the read on just exactly the right amount of units to defend and shut it down. And I think if you give a player like Scarlett a read on what you're doing, it's very dangerous. She's really good at taking advantage of knowing what's going to happen ahead of time. I always feel like there's players like Scarlett, and I think that maybe a Lasers in that camp as well, where if you let these players know exactly what you're going to do ahead of time, you're going to have a bad time. I think if you give them a crazy, dynamic, unpredictable situation, and maybe you can out-multitask them and catch them off guard, but once they get an edge, it's very hard to get rid of that edge. You know, Scarlett very rarely gives that sort of thing away. Now, this is a good catch for MARU. He's gone for the single barracks on the low ground into the Marines. She's already built 4 Zerglings, which she probably regrets a little bit now, because she's like, those could have been 2 more drones. And of course, she's immediately building 2 more Overlords. Now, you might be wondering, why no Ling Speed? Well, if they're building Marines, you know they're not going to be aggressive because those Marines are very slow. So she's skipping Ling Speed, using that money to make the extra Overlord. She still starts the 3rd hatchery very early. And actually, she does go Ling Speed before building drones here, which I find a little peculiar. I'm like, that's odd, because do you really think there's going to be super fast pressure behind this? I wouldn't expect it. That being said, MARU is going for a 4 racks. This build almost always goes into quick Banshees. MARU used to do this every game on Babylon to the point where it was actually getting too predictable, and he was getting counted for doing it against guys like Rainer, I believe, back in Sweden earlier in the year. Just shut down his Banshee harassment off of it. But it was always quick factory, and you know, maybe he'd do like a Cyclone Medevac Marine drop and then Banshees or a Liberator. It was always tech-oriented. It's very rare you see someone deny scouting into a 4-rack. So this is a lovely surprise build for MARU. The trick is going to be disguising his move out. If he can disguise his move out or catch Scarlett maybe just droning a bit too hard and then being, say, supply blocked. If she's supply blocked when those Marines show themselves, she's screwed because she has no scouting. She can't send an Overlord in unless she starts Overlord speed or a lair, and guess what? She's not mining gas. So Scarlett is playing a blind, efficient opening. It's all minerals. Notice she's already fully saturated on 2 mineral lines. She'll rally drones back into this gas here in a moment. You're going to see 3 more drones start up and rally onto that gas. There you go. Just like clockwork. And this is your rock solid, just mineral focused. Lots of queens. It's a rule of 1 gas build is what I've called this for many years. And yeah, you just inject, you spread your creep, you start banking energy on your queens once you have 4 or 5 creep tumors out, so you have some transfuses. Now she does lose a few lings there, or actually only 1, so that's not too bad, but she needs to kind of leave a Zergling here. One of the best things you can do in this scenario is put a Zergling up on this high ground, and then they won't be able to see you, but you can see them. The problem is lings don't have great sight vision, and she's going up to 50 workers, and he is about to move out. Stim and shields are about, what, 30 seconds away, 25 seconds? I think it's go time. 30 seconds on combat shields. MARU's left half his Marines behind. MARU? Okay, okay, this is a super weird build by MARU, guys. He's specifically pretending it's a fake out, and then he's just going to go home. And he's like, yep, she'll build some Zerglings, but then she'll go back to drones, assuming this is not that build. And he's even pulling the SCVs! Oh my god, she doesn't have a Bailey Nest! This is the Beyond build! This is the Beyond build from last season! I can't believe he would do this against Scarlett when he's massively favored, but this is the sort of madness that makes sometimes high-level players very hard to play against. She moves her Overlord out of the way, but she did just see a few more Marines coming. She barely got a glimpse of it. She's pulling back. Her carapace has just started. She's got a lot of Queens, a lot of Zerglings. If she can cut off the reinforce, she shuts this down with her Zerglings. But if she doesn't cut off the rally, it's so scary. She doesn't have a Bailey Nest or a Roach Roar. There's so many Marines and SCVs. Oh man, and she's kind of running away from her base because she's like, well, I don't want to, like, I want to lure him away from my base. Oh my god, the stim comes in. Okay, the queens are running away, which is really good. And notice she's intercepting the rally. That's what she needed to do here. Transfuses are coming down. The queens are all just going to die. They're run out of creep to retreat from. But she's bought herself a lot of time. He kills every single queen, and there's still no Bailey Nest or anything like that. She's cleaned up a lot of the Marines, though. She got 9 Marines there, but she lost 8 queens. Not a good trade cost for cost, but remember, she's got money coming in. He does not. Her Overlords are going to be getting killed soon, and she will be supply blocked. She needs to bait another stim out of him. Oh, okay, there we go. She goes in. Oh, she's going to commit. She's committing. She's committing to the engagement right now. The mass Zergling coming in for the surround. Maru has a ball of Marines there. They fight so well against the Zerglings, but she's still got a lot of mining on 3 hatcheries with a 4th on the way, and she holds on with Mass Link Queen. He needed to not chase the queens. He needed to go into the production and shut down her mining and her production and stop those lings from massing up. The way she lured him to the south and cut off the reinforcements was incredibly smart. And oh my lord, she's got this in the bag. There's just no way he can ever get the numbers now. She's making nothing but queens, Zerglings, a Baneling Nest, and a new Evo chamber. She's sending lings to cut off the reinforcement. This is an absolutely fantastic hold for Scarlett, who played a very efficient build. She didn't play scared. She just played rock solid, mineral focused fundamentals of StarCraft. Something which, you know, Maru, I think, was expecting her to be a bit more nervous, expecting her to look to try to be super greedy, to hard counter in one way or the other. And actually amazing micro by Maru, but look at his numbers. I mean, he's down in army supply. That tells you all you need to know. 35 army supply for Scarlet. How? Do queens count as army supply? I didn't realize queens show up on this overlay as army supply. Because that number seems very high. 8 queens is 16 supply, and then you've got like 45 Zerglings, which is 22 supply. I think this number's bugged. It looks like the overlay is bugged. I don't think there's any way that's showing up correctly. I could be wrong on that, but yeah. Maybe the queens in supply, in production as well, adding to it. Queens are always army supply, apparently, according to chat. Oh, okay. I don't really think of them as army supply because they're trash, but that's cool. That's a crazy revelation to have. All right, 4 barracks on the way. I mean, Maru's dead. I can't believe this. Scarlett just played really solid. So what's weird here is Scarlett didn't do anything fancy. She's played really standard solid StarCraft. If you ask me, how does Scarlett beat Maru? I'd say, okay, so she basically does a really solid opening, gets a little bit greedy, and then she just kills him with like a 1-1 Ling Bane timing or something like that, you know? Right, when he's taken his 3rd base and he's moved across the map with a few drops, but they're not quite hitting her, that's where you just get in and, oh, the Baneling Sanger comes in, Marines go flying. She's just gonna walk right up that ramp. The Lings are surrounding, the Banelings greet those SCVs. They say 2x2 drills of blue, and Scarlett just knocks him right down with a 2-0. What a friggin' ridiculous way to start the very first Group A of the first round of GSL. Of course, Maru's not out. It is that GSL format, but what a great way to go into the winner's match for Scarlett. GG, well played.